Ladies and gentlemen, the long awaited, highly anticipated Session 12 of the United States National High School Champions League Starting 11 with Jim Harte and Kevin Whalen. Jim, take it away.
What's up, Kevin? Well, first of all, so excited about our new name, the Starting 11. The idea is 11 minutes to start your day. All news high school Champions League, 5 stories a day. We got 5 great ones today. But before we do, let's talk about our sponsors. Kevin, Select.
Select. I can't tell you enough about Select. I believe when you're going to dress like a Yankee, you play like a Yankee. But if you have that ball, that Select ball, it molds with your foot. And it's when you pass it, you can see it. It's unbelievable. Select is the only ball that the Whales will play soccer with. You don't have a Select, I ain't played. And it's the Champions, United States National High School Champions League official ball. There's a reason why.
Yeah, Select is the official ball of the USL Championship in USL League One, and therefore the Tampa Bay Rowdies use the Select ball. And so there's a great synergy between Select and the Champions League movement because that's the official ball of the High School Champions League. Thanks to Tim McAvoy and the folks at Select, we play with brand new, top of the line Select balls. So in your local area, encourage the high school coaches to start the Champions League because one thing you're going to get to do is you're going to get to play with the best ball in the world in the final or in your Champions League games. But the other thing is we have our great sponsor, our named sponsor down here in Tampa Bay. Did you know, Kevin, that the Tampa Bay Champions League is actually called the Loci Capital Champions League?
I just found out.
Yeah, Loci Capital. And the other thing is, Kevin, now let's test your Latin today. What is the Latin word for loci? What does that mean? Do you know?
Uh, like new good places,
Yes,
nice places.
that's it. Places, loci, places. And Loci Capital is dedicated to building beautiful places to live and to work. So they're an investment firm that invests in the creation of beautiful places. The CEO and the COO are also ex-high school players at Clearwater Central Catholic, state champions in 96 and 97, and they are now the named sponsors of the Tampa Bay Champions League, and we thank them for it.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, on to story number one. So the yesterday, while you were talking with Terry Mickler on the starting 11, I was on the phone with Kevin Sims out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Kevin is a past president of United Soccer Coaches, and he has been working with us for over a year now. He's been to several of our meetings, our nationwide Zoom meetings that you host on the Well Certified Podcast, Kevin. And Kevin told me yesterday a very interesting tidbit. It's very preliminary, so it may or may not turn into anything. But in the true spirit of the starting 11, and it's all gossip, High School Champions League, I've got a juicy tidbit for this morning's first story. Kevin told me that one of the people interested in the High School Champions League is none other than Christine Lilly, the 99er, the 99 U.S. World Cup champion, who cleared the ball off the goal line to keep that game going for the U.S., which everybody knows the U.S. eventually won in a penalty kick shootout against China in the Rose Bowl in 1999. Well, Christine Lilly has remained in the game. She still coaches, and She and Kevin Sims now are talking about the High School Champions League. I may one day be able to come and report on the starting 11 that Christine Lilly is one more person interested in joining the parade of the High School Champions League. So that is massive news. Let's see what happens.
Right on, man. Come on, Kirsten.
So we go to story number two, which has a feel of this is kind of a common theme that's happening. I notice in our stories is people involved at high levels of soccer that are also Wales certified. And so, and this theme extends to U.S. national team because in story number two, we are talking later today with somebody who's Wales certified, who we will see this summer on coverage of the World Cup as a referee analyst, and who was the assistant coach of the United States 1990 World Cup team, and also was a guest on the Whale Certified podcast. So that's Dr. Joe Magnick. So people that watch U.S. national team coverage on TV will know Dr. Joe because they often throw it to him for an interpretation of referees' rulings. He's been around for a long time. I don't need to tell you about Dr. Joe. Kevin, I need to hear your reaction to this news.
I open doors for the guy.
That's beautiful. So, in those first two stories, we add two more names to the pantheon of people that have been both whale, or well, not all whale certified yet. I know you're working on them all, but that are interested in the High School Champions League uh, and have experience with U.S. national team. So let's do a quick review as part of story three of all those people. So we know that Danielle Fotopoulos, a fellow 99er of Christine Lilly, a teammate of hers on that 99 World Cup team. We talked about her in a last week on the starting 11 because she is also the head boys soccer coach at Sun Lake High School down here in the Tampa Bay area, a Champions League team and a state champion. So we've got Danielle, we've got Rockin' Robin Confer, who is a U.S. national team veteran and went to North Carolina, has her number retired there, along with the likes of Christine Lilly and Mia Hamm. And Robin was in her first ever Girls Champions League draw down here in Tampa Bay. She played high school soccer here at Clearwater Central Catholic. We have the great 85er, Ruth Harker, who I know is Whale certified and has been with you talking on the Whale Certified podcast. And you guys have a lively back and forth, as you know. We have the great Perry Vanderbeck, 1980 Olympics soccer team captain, and a member of he's the national ambassador for the High School Champions League movement. And well, I better take a breath, Kevin, because I got three more names. I'm going to take a breath and let you jump in here if you want to.
Yeah, Ruth Harker, the first international goalkeeper to represent the United States in a international tournament. Unbelievable. Just
There can only ever be one.
there's wow. Wow, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we're the starting 11. Okay, that's it. Go
Well,
on.
let's
Yes.
keep that list going. We have the great Captain America Al Trost, who right there out of St. Louis, who is also on the St. Louis High School Champions League board. And then, of course, we have the great Nick Zlatar, who lives down here in Sarasota, Florida. And Nick was one of the original licensees of the United States Soccer Federation licensing program, a license in 1974. Close friends with a number of people in St. Louis that, including yourself and Terry Mickler, that that people that listen to this show will know. Some of those people will know Nick, and Nick has experience on the fringes of the U.S. national team program and the U.S. national coaching schools, And then the last one in that list is Jimmy DeNoble, another Wales certified coach. He was a goalkeeper coach for U.S. under 17 and under 20 national teams. And so Jimmy is in the Eckerd College Soccer Hall of Fame, and he's got a whole list of credentials, which would take too long to list. So we are gathering, Kevin, in the Champions League movement, a parade of U.S. internationals.
Hence the Champions League.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's move on to story number 4. So last week, we were talking with a gentleman that I want to introduce our audience to named Mike Idland. Mike is the head women's soccer coach at State University of New York, or as the kids like to say, SUNY Brockport is where Mike is. And he has been their head coach. He's coached 150 games there, but he's also heavily dialed into the Rochester, New York high school soccer scene. And he's got friends in Rochester that are high school soccer coaches, and he's been talking with them about the high school Champions League. And soon we are going to meet with some representatives from that fair city of Rochester, New York. So not any more to report on that than just that gossipy tidbit, but that's what this show's all about, is gossipy tidbits about the high school Champions League. So before we move on, any reaction to Rochester, New York joining the scene, Kevin?
Man, I'm impressed.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Well, the last one is home run. It is so 3 years ago, I first talked to this guy. He played soccer with my brother Rob at Quincy College in the 1980s. He went on to build a coaching career in Cleveland, Ohio. My brother suggested that I call him 3 years ago, which I did. And we talked about the Champions League. The Champions League wasn't what it was now. It was just kind of getting started. And it only was in Tampa. There was no Tampa and Polk County. There was no other place it was going on. But we've stayed in touch. And then your friend and our co-host, the great Terry Mickler, recommended last week that we have another go at this guy. Mike McLaughlin is his name. Mike McLaughlin is in Cleveland, Ohio. He's the head coach of St. Ignatius High School, which is considered the monster, the Godzilla of Cleveland high school soccer. St. Ignatius is. And Mike is a highly respected coach, well known around the country, actually, for his work with high school All-America activity. So we reached out to Mike again at Terry's suggestion, and sure enough, we've got a meeting with him today. So I will have more to report on the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Cleveland, Ohio. We may soon get you in there, Kevin, as Wolfman Jack. Who knows? So we'll see what kind of pull Mike has at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Insiders to the show will know that Kevin Whalen was nicknamed by Mike Rickard down here in Tampa, a radio personality down here in Tampa. When Kevin appeared on a Tampa radio show, Mike Rickard said, "I think I'm talking to Wolfman Jack right now." So who knows? We could tie it all up before it's all over. But between all of those 5 stories, that is today's report on the starting 11, Kevin.
Oh, man, Cleveland. Beautiful, baby. I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we'll take the show on the road one day and broadcast live from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and from St. Ignatius High School. Who knows what the future holds.
That's right.
And speaking of the future, I've already given my 5 stories, so I have to bite my lip and I have to save this one for tomorrow. But let me just say that we've been talking, as you know, Kevin, but the audience doesn't, with a couple of more potential guest hosts for the starting 11 that may turn up. So between myself, Dave Wilson, Terry Mickler, and of course our main host, Kevin Whalen, that's it for today, Kevin. I'm throwing it back to you.
Well, let's wrap it up. And we didn't, hit that 11 because, hey, man, there's only one starting 11. But when you're on that team, you're part of the team, man. That something happens, you're going in. And we got,
Some
yeah,
sometimes the ref adds time, doesn't he?
there you go. All right, then. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Share the news because that's how some of these other people got in. They didn't hear it at first, but people start talking. Word of mouth, best way. So there you have it. Jim, we're going to wrap it up.
Beautiful.
All right. And this has been the United States National Champions League starting 11.